Since I was writing here about the pros and cons of videos, I thought I would do one just for the fun of it that kind of illustrates some of the problems that you run into if you're doing something like this. And I'm using a webcam, but I think the same thing would be true with any digital camera. For one thing, I am working in a corner of my living room and I have windows on all three sides of me right now. And that's wonderful for me when I'm writing because I love being close to my gardens. I like being able to know what's going on outside. But in terms of lighting for a video cam, it's complicated. It definitely leaves you with times a day that it's almost impossible to do anything and impacts how everything's going to look. Because for one thing, when you're dealing with digital, you're dealing with pixelation. So something like, for example, my teeth here. Looks like I have a gap between my two front teeth. I don't. But pixelation picked up on that, and that's what it does. That's its uh, skill, its talent, I guess. And you have to get past caring about that when you're doing these things. So when you're doing it, there is the lighting, then there's the sound. And if I happen to start talking when a truck goes by, it garbles everything. There you end up with this kind of uh, sounds like underwater, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And if it comes in the middle, it can practically wipe it out because I'm not too far off Main Road and a lot of log truck traffic comes down it. And then I have my farm here, with the sheep that can come down and suddenly decide that they've lost their lamb and where is it and come fix it. So you've got the outside complications, and then when I'm working on dialogue and I don't write down, I don't have obviously a teleprompter, and I don't take notes. I more or less figure out what I'm going to say, get an idea for it, and I want it to be like a conversation, as if you were sitting right across from me and we were talking about this. And that means a lot of times I totally go off and forget what it was I had in mind saying. And that can ruin, well, yesterday I was working on what I hope to be a verbal video for one of my books, a book I like a lot, that I have a lot of feeling for. I could not get it right. Time after time, I would get almost all of it, and I'd screw up some point. It was becoming very frustrating to me, but I just kept on. I'd take a break, do something else, because you've got to look like you're enjoying yourself doing this, or there's no point in expecting somebody else to enjoy it. But finally, I think, maybe one. We'll see. I haven't had the nerve to look at it yet after that. But why put yourself through this? I mean, there aren't too many of us that like to see ourselves talking in a video. It's not much fun. It's kind of like, oh, do I really look like that? Because we don't normally look at ourselves while we're talking. Somebody else has to put up with that. But in the video, we are going to look at ourselves talking, and we're going to see ourselves a lot of times, and it gets old fast. But I think there's a reason for doing it. It's because it gets across a point. It teaches something. It is another way to reach people who maybe wouldn't be interested in something that was like that might not read it, might not be as interested in it if they were reading it. But when they see it and it's someone talking, they will look at it. And this is what I think we're hoping for. And I know in my particular instance here, yes, I'm trying to find another way to get people to find out what my books are about. That's important to me. But it also is because I am a big believer in the importance of creativity in our lives. And it doesn't have to come through writing or painting or something like that, but it's using our creative genius and developing it and making it a big part of our lives. And that's what my goal is for doing this here, is to encourage that for other people.